This is our brand new BMW i4 M50. It has 536 horsepower, yet still has room for a family of 5. And it's fully electric. But with as good as this car is, there's one thing that drives me nuts. The wheels are sunken in, giving it poor fitment. But don't worry, because in today's video, we are bringing you the ultimate spacer guide. We have Kies spacers, and we're gonna show you examples of 10 millimeters, 13 millimeters, 15s, and 20s to dial in that fitment. Brian, thanks for watching Kies. If you haven't done so already, be sure to check us out at the all-new KiesEV.com, where we focus on electric cars like the BMW i4 M50. Now, when it comes to spacers, it is personal preference. Some people like it a little less aggressive, some people like it a little bit more. So in today's video, we're gonna show you them all to make sure that you find the size that meets your taste. Let's start out with some detailed shots of how the car sits today. The first thing you're going to need is a box of Kies spacers. Now, these are enough to do 2 wheels, so it'll do either the back or the front, so you will need 2 boxes to do the entire car. Our spacers are made of 7075 aluminum, which is some of the highest quality aluminum that money can buy, and we also include appropriately sized wheel bolts. Now, whenever you're adding wheel spacers, you always want to use the provided bolts because, as you can see, the factory ones just aren't long enough. If I put this 20 mil spacer on the back of this wheel here, and I insert the stock wheel bolt, you've got yourself like a half a thread, which is never going to hold the wheel on. But with the appropriate size, you'll have plenty of threads to keep you safe and sound. Last thing I want to say is always make sure to keep the wheel bolts with the appropriate size because the 20s are different from the 15s, the 13s, and the 10s. So with that, let's start by installing the 20s. Now, to do this job at home, it is super simple. All you need is a jack and a jack stand. This one actually has one conveniently built in. To get the wheels off, I have an electric impact. To put the wheels back on, we have a Weir torque wrench. And last but not least, a Kies protective socket to make sure our wheels aren't gonna get scratched. And as a bonus, Ben Pack sent us the all-new Ergo chair, which is a creeper, cup holder, tool tray, and for today, it's this ergonomic chair, which is going to make this a breeze. All right, first part of the process is to safely get the car off the ground. Use a jack and jack stands, or if you have one of these fancy all-in-one units. With this, we just simply slide that through like that. Rest it down, and we are safe and secure. Next, pull off the wheel. Then take your hub-centric spacer, slide it right on. Make sure those holes are lined up. Throw the wheel on. Then lightly tighten them down. Then lower the car. And torque to 104 foot-pounds. Now that the rear's done, I'm gonna do the same thing on the front. All right, so looking down the side of the car, as you can see, we definitely have some tire poke. It looks like the wheel itself is pretty flush, but the tire is definitely poking out with the factory setup. Let's take a look at the back. So the back is exactly the same. For point of reference, looking down, it looks like this line right here is pretty much flush with the body of the car, and then you have this part over here that kind of pokes out. It is a little aggressive for what I am looking for, but if you're looking for a little bit of poke, this may be a good option for you. Another thing to consider, if you lowered your car, you are going to naturally get a little bit of negative camber, which will tuck this in. So depending on your wheel and your suspension setup, this might be a good option for you. Now that we've seen the 20s, let's move on to the 15s. Now for us, the car is brand new, the spacers are brand new, and the car really hasn't been driven in any bad weather. However, if you go through a nasty winter and there's a lot of salt, grime, and corrosion, sometimes spacers can get a little bit stuck, but don't worry, we thought ahead and we put these little grooves on. So if you find yourself getting a little bit stuck, all you need to do is pry up in these areas and they'll pop right off. But today, we don't have that problem. And then once again, just as a reminder, make sure to keep the bolts with the kits. Now you're probably not going to be installing 4 different sets of spacers on yours, but again, it is very important because the bolts that come with our 15 mil spacers are a little bit smaller than those 20, so make sure you keep an eye on the bolts. All right, the 15s are installed, and looking down the car, we have very, very minimal poke in the front and in the back as well. If the car was lowered and we had a little bit of negative camber, may actually be a really good size, but it is still a little more aggressive than what I'm personally after for today. So let's bump it down one more size to a 13 millimeter. All right, so Zach just helped me put the 13s on, and as you can see from the back, we have a little bit of poke. It just keeps going down and down and down. It looks pretty good though. That I would say is definitely pretty good for like an OEM plus feel. And over here, I think this is perfect for this car. We're still gonna show you what it looks like with the 10s, but wanted to just give you some shots of the 13 millimeters. All right, at this point we have the last set of 10 millimeter spacers on. So if you take a look down the car, you will see that the front wheel is now a little bit sunken in, which may be good if you have a more aggressive tire. But for this specific car, I would say we're gonna need to put the 13 back on because I think that one is prime fitment. However, I do say that the 10 is spot on for the rear of this vehicle. As you can see, it has a nice flush fitment, so I would love to see what it looks like with the 13 millimeter up front. But as always, let us know down in the comments what you think the ideal setup is for this. Like I said, I think it's the 13 and the 10, but we may disagree because this is personal preference. So let us know what you think down below. So at this point in the process, we have the Kies spacers fully installed and torqued down. We have the 13 millimeters in the front and the 10s in the rear, and I think this is the ideal fitment. It really brings that wheel out, but not too far in the front. And I think it matches pretty good in the rear as well. And what we did, you see that the car is in a different position. We did roll it around a little bit. Sometimes it makes the tire situate a little bit different to give you the exact look. And I think this is exactly what we were going for. If you wanted to add a little bit more aggression in the back, you could bump it out to the 13. But being that this is one of my wife's daily drivers, I wanted to keep it pretty subtle. But as you can see, we fixed the issue that BMW gave this car. And I think this little subtle mod adds so much to the styling of the i4 M50. We hope you enjoyed the ultimate spacer guide for the BMW i4 M50. Be sure to let us know down in the comments below what size you guys think is best for your build. And if you need a set, be sure to visit us at kiesev.com. We have links for you down in the description. Be sure to give us a like, make sure to subscribe. Check us out online. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.